Hi Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your November 1st to the 15th, 2021 money and career reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Capricorn, November 1st to the 15th, 2021 Capricorn, money and career. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. At the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. At our root, we have the Fool, the Star, which is Aquarius energy. So if we're born on the cusp with Aquarius, that's going to be coming through quite powerfully. Also, if we have Aquarius or Cancer within our natal chart, that's coming through very powerfully at our root. This is a beautiful base. We then have the Ace of Pentacles, which is a gift just for us. We're Earth sign energy. We're represented by Pentacles in the minor arcana, by the Devil in the major arcana, and we have the World here. So the world is opening up to financial gifts for us, which is always nice. Like, that's not anything to say no to. We have the Universe here, the world coming through twice. Here in the Llewellyn Tarot deck, it's known as the Universe. So we're connecting with something greater. We're opening up the door. We're really moving forward. And then we have the Emperor, which is Aries energy. If we have Aries within our natal chart, that's coming through very powerfully in our emotional self. But also if we have Aquarius, Cancer, or Aries energy, they're coming through very powerfully in our lives, just in general. We have the Six of Pentacles, and we have the Page of Pentacles. We're taking the gift of prosperity that's being given. We're not taking it as well as if, this we had in the line of our inner selves where the Ace of Pentacles is presented. If we had if we have a King of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, one of the court cards of Pentacles in there. So that would mean we were really securing, taking this gift, having it in the public arena self. We want to have that gift come forward in the public arena, but it does mean that it's going to be a little bit trickier. There's going to be a little bit more things involved during this time. We're also coming through as a student, as a person who is learning, as a person who is gaining a greater understanding, who's, breaking boundaries, who's pushing things forward. And that's going to be a really great thing for us. But it's also going to mean that we're not going to have all the answers that we expect us to have. So be kinder to yourself during this time, because you're not going to want to be. Our chakra, not our chakra, the energy to be mindful of. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. is the King of Pentacles. So it's us. We can get in our own way. So do be mindful of that. We're also going to be very drawn to people who seem to have a really good financial head on their shoulder. And we're going to think, well, what's wrong with that? These are very practical people. They have spreadsheets. They have things all laid out. I like this. I feel comfortable with this. This is what I want. And excuse me. And what Spirit is saying here is that, yes, we do want this, but to make money our only aim during this time is going to have us lose sight of a bigger picture, of something greater that we're going after, that we want, that we're calling forward within our lives. And also these people, they're going to do things the way that's right for them. And that doesn't necessarily mean that it's right for us. So just being aware of that during this time, but just being aware of that in general can be very grounding, very helpful, very powerful for us. It moves us to our chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. And we have two. We have the third eye chakra. Oh, excuse me. And we have the third chakra coming through. And I'm just going to take a sip of water. So do excuse me for a moment. All right, perfect. So with the third eye chakra, we have visualization. And visualization usually gets a really bad rap because we've been told, well, if you visualize it, then it will come. And then it doesn't come and we get super upset because it's like, well, why did you lie to me? But the thing with visualization is that it opens up new pathways within our mind. Our mind, when we visualize something, when we imagine something, our mind does not know the difference between make-believe and reality. And that's a scary thing, but that's also a very powerful thing. So if we visualize it, if we focus on our third eye, if we focus on what we want to manifest and what we want within our lives, and we visualize it, and we spend the time and the effort looking at it and calling it forward, our mind will think, okay, I've done that. So then when we go to do it in real life, we're not going to be as terrified. Or even if we are terrified of it, it's like, I've done it before, I can do it again. And our mind has a confidence to it that we ourselves might not have. And then we have truth with the third chakra, to speak the truth, to move forward in the truth of what we desire, of what we want, of how we're moving forward, to embrace our voice. That's going to be really important because even if we misstep, even if we say the wrong thing, even if, everybody doesn't agree with us, if we moved forward in our conviction and what we believe, if we stuck to our truth and what we desire, there's a respect to that. And the people who don't understand that, they'll walk away. But the people who do understand that will move forward with us. And there's this huge sense of we're going on a journey here. We're embracing a new path, a new passion, a new way to what is greater than we have now. Now, the Fool is that adventure, and we're going to find ourselves embracing that adventure. This is a time where we're pushing envelopes. This is a time where we're looking at things and saying, why did I confine myself? Why did I limit myself? Like, why was I so angry? Or why was I so terrified? Or why just coming forward? And with the Fool here, it's like, take those steps forward. Take those steps and see what becomes. We might think ourselves foolish, which we will most likely do, but that's going to be important to sit there and say, okay, other people might mock me, other people might not understand, but I need to move forward in who I am and what I desire. And the first step is always the hardest. And the second step is even harder because you've got everybody laughing at you. And the third and the fourth. And sometimes it feels like just walking this road, it doesn't get easier. But then there comes a time where things just start falling into place, where, the switch is flipped. And this path, it's like, I couldn't stop it if I wanted to. I need to walk this way. I need to go after this. Because remember, every single hero's journey starts with the person being a fool, thinking that they're better than everybody else, thinking that they can do what other people failed at. And so we might say there's a bit of arrogance in being the fool, but there's also a bit of power, a bit of surety, a bit of determination. And that's what we need to embrace here. That's what we need to embrace within ourselves. Maybe having a bit of arrogance isn't a bad thing. Not this huge, overwhelming ego, but the sense of, I have every right to step forward for me. And it moves us towards our dreams. It moves us towards our hopes and our wishes and what we desire and where we want to be. We start to look at our dreams. We start to look at what we want. We start to get what we need as we're looking at what we want. So it can be a little bit frustrating. So do be mindful about that. But there's also a sense of, this is what I wish for. This is where I want to be. We look at the dreams that we stuck away. Now, maybe some dreams we've realized will never come to the light of day. They were meant to be fantasies. They were meant to be dreams. Maybe we write them out or sketch them out or however we express them through that. But we might have to come to terms with that, with the sense of, okay, I'll never live that particular dream. It was too wild, or it isn't me, anymore. But this is also saying, what about all the other dreams? What about the things that we've put on the shelf, that we've hidden away in the closet of our mind and our soul and what we really desire within our lives? And we've become practical, or we've become jaded, we've become sad, we've become overwhelmed. And we think there's no place for that dream. There's no place for what I desire within my life. And Spirit's saying there's a difference between a dream that we had about, riding a Pegasus, and the dream that we have about being able to go on that adventure, being able to have that love, that passion, that beauty, that career, that security that we want. And Spirit's saying, don't put the wrong dream into the realm of fantasy. Step forward in what you desire. Step forward in who you are. Step forward in what you want from your life and what you're craving, because it moves us to the chariot. It moves us to moving forward in love. It moves us to going after what our heart wants, what we need, our soul, our connection, our desire. It moves us into a time that says, let your heart take you. And Capricorn, that's going to be a bit hard for us, because we're going to think, okay, but no, I have to be practical about this. And Spirit's saying, listen, sometimes I give you a gift that isn't necessarily practical. It doesn't have the proper attributes to it that everybody thinks it should have. But it is your gift. It is your passion. It is yourself. And once you embrace you, the world is set on fire. You move forward in a way that's extraordinary. And it moves us to the world. It moves us to, by connecting with our heart, connecting with what we wish, being brave enough to take those steps, the world starts to open. Now, we might have to plan for this. We might have to sit there and say, okay, I need to save up. I need to have money in the bank. I need to, work the jobs that I hate to be able to work the jobs that I love. There's this old saying, you have to do what you don't want to do to be able to do what you want to do. And that's very, very true. And so here, as the world opens to us, what we see, and what I love about this picture, is he's asleep. His world is this fairy tale book that he was reading, that now he gets to dream about and embrace, and then have become part of his world, because it's infected his mind. It's moved forward in such a beautiful way. And this is going to be us. It's like, first dream it, first believe it, and then see it. That's where the visualization comes in, the third eye chakra. If we meditate on our third eye, or if we start seeing ourselves walking down that path, doing that thing that we've always wanted to do, embracing that, whatever. And we might find that what we wanted before was that dream. So let's say we wanted to paint, right? Or we wanted to draw or be an artist in that way of, the visual arts. And so we sat down with watercolors, and we always painted with watercolors and watercolors and watercolors. And then we got frustrated because it wasn't getting to the point that we wanted to be. And we just put them down and we walked away from that for a while. And then we came back. But this time we didn't have the watercolors, or the watercolors, they were bad or whatever. And so we picked up the colored pencils. But that's how the art started to come forward. That's how we were starting to be able to sketch and to blend and to have things really come into life and into being. We needed that time away from what it is that we really desired. And we also needed to change the modality that we were going after it in. And so here, the world is opening to us. But the world is opening to us in a way that we had dreamed of it. But maybe not in the way that we had, succinctly thought of it in the waking world. And so that's going to be very important. And a gift of prosperity starts to come. It's a gift of wealth and prosperity and bounty and, the rules being changed and things opening and the next level being gone to and walking through that doorway. And there's a sense here of, can I live this dream? Can I take this gift? Can I go after what I want? And the universe again opens up and says, what you desire, your heart, is ephemeral. There are no limitations of it. You get to be this beautiful being of snow and of wind. And you get to open yourself forward to the sense of, there is so much more here than meets the eye. There is so much more here to me than even I can understand. And it's not the world that opens to me. It's the universe. It's the expanse of existence that opens. Are we brave enough to take it? Because here we have the emperor. We have ourselves claiming the throne, claiming power, claiming authority, going after what we want. There's also going to be this sense of security. We need that sense of security, but we can't make that our only game, because we're going to have a tendency to want to say, well, as long as it's, secure and steady and stable, then that's exactly what I need. But it can also be that we're just dying a little bit inside, that we just feel as if our life is passing us by and we're doing everything that we're supposed to, but we're getting nowhere that we want to. So do be mindful of that. Claiming our power, claiming our voice, claiming our throne, to lead the way for our lives, to not be led by others. That's important. And that's what we're doing here. That's what our heart is calling us to do. There's also this sense for some of us here to rise above the limitations of a patriarchal figure, of a person who had their own very strict ways of doing things. And now we're going to start to embrace our own way. We're going to start to kind of form a new tradition, a new sense of what we desire. We're wrapping ourselves in our root chakra. We're wrapping ourselves in what is passionate for us, but also what grounds us, what roots us to this world, what we want from our lives, the way that we want to move forward. It moves us to the Six of Pentacles. Gifts start coming in, yes, but there's more of a sense of I'm balancing things. This is, for me, this is the minor arcana justice card. Things are being balanced. We're seeing where things are just and where things aren't just, where there's the give and then where there's the take. And we're finding that harmony. We're finding that insight. We're finding that pattern. We're finding that desire, which brings us in the public arena. We're not being taken advantage of. It's like, this is what I need. This is where I need to be. This is what I desire. And it brings us to the Page of Pentacles. It brings us to new experiences, but it also brings us to new possibilities. It brings us to wealth opening up. It brings us to being able to move forward to what we want. We're discovering, we're looking at things differently than we have before. We're opening up doors. We're seeing things in a new light and in a new way. And that's going to be really powerful for who we are and where it is that we want to be. We're looking at things as this student, as this person who is becoming, as this person who is gaining an understanding. And as we're doing so, we're also looking at the world as, how can I move forward towards this? How can I embrace what it is that I love and I want, and where it is that I want to be, and how it is that I want to move forward? And that's going to be very powerful. That's going to be the game changer. We're not held back. We're looking at things like a student and saying, like, well, why did we always do that? Like, why not change it now? And that's going to be a really cool thing for us. Our subconscious energy to be mindful of is the Princess of Cups. Very emotional, astoundingly emotional people who tend to drain our energy because they demand so much attention. They demand so much time. They're always having a trauma and a drama. This is a person who, where they're like, oh my gosh, won't believe what happened to me. And you just kind of roll your eyes because you're just thinking, could you just have a calm moment? Could you just sit quietly for 5 seconds of your life and just embrace where you are and what's going on, and without it always being one fire drill after another, because this person is exhausting. So do be mindful of that. Our subconscious chakra energy is holistic health. This is the root chakra. This is connecting with our rooted self. This is embracing our holistic health. This is embracing our bodies. This is embracing our hearts. This is knowing what we need, what is feeding us, what is moving us forward, and what isn't. There is a sense here of coming back, going back to basics and listening to our bodies, listening to what nourishes us, listening to what, charges us, and listening to what doesn't. And so during this time, to embrace our holistic truth, to embrace our heart and what we desire, to listen to our bodies, to listen to ourselves, that's going to be a really big thing. It then moves us to our subconscious rooted energy, which is judgment. We're coming out of a place of fire. We're coming out of a place of forging and doubt and fear and chaos, and we're rising. We're rising to this new place. We're rising out of a box. We're rising out of a sense of, this is what I'm supposed to be. And we're rising to the person that we need to be. It moves us to our subconscious inner self. And that's the Two of Cups. We're finding love. Now, it doesn't mean that we have to be falling into love. But what it means is that we're falling into love with ourselves. We're tumbling into love with what we desire from our lives, with the way that we want to move forward, with what we, want and who we are. There's a sense here of the heart guiding us in a very real way. There's unity coming forward. And there's unity through our dreams and through a bigger picture that we hadn't seen before. It moves us to our subconscious emotional self, and it's the Eight of Swords. We can negate all of this by getting too much into our own heads and saying, I can't move forward. I can't go after what I want. I can't. And Spirit is saying here, why? And so what we have to do is we have to step out of our own way. That's going to be so important because we're going to be in our own minds. We're going to think of the what if, and the fantasy of it is always going to be better than the reality. But the fantasy is always better than the reality of everything. Have you ever gone on a vacation and just and just had such high expectations? It was going to be wonderful. Everything was going to be great. It was going to be the best vacation ever. And then it rained all the time, and it wasn't that great, and the food wasn't up to par, and the room was disappointing, and you're just looking at it, and you built it so up in your head that it just didn't live up to expectations. But when you go on vacation and you sit there and you say, okay, it'll be okay, and I'm not here for that long, and it's not that much of a vacation, but whatever. And you get to move forward, and you wind up really enjoying yourself because you had no expectation, and you got coffee at this little coffee shop, and you just enjoyed yourself. That's it. That's what the Eight of Swords is. It's the sense of, I'm trapping myself in my own mind because I have all these expectations and I can't possibly live up to them. But if we take away the expectations, it's not saying, be a lazy bum and just sit on the couch and eat chips for the rest of your life. Not that. But it's saying, give yourself time. Sit back when you need to sit back. Sit on the couch and eat chips when you need to sit on the couch and eat chips. But let yourself connect with your heart, connect with what you desire, connect with what you want without the doubts and the fear and the chaos and the, kind of drowning in the emotion of it all. It moves us to our subconscious public arena self. And it's the Five of Swords. There's conflict that's coming forward. There's something that we're going to be facing, that we have faced before, that we do not want to be facing. It's like, oh my gosh, this again. This is why it has to be fair. This is why we have to come to things as a student, as a person who is learning, as a person who's saying, well, why not? Why not do it like this? Or why does it have to be like that? Or, why do I have to follow that same pattern? And what we're going to see here is that we're starting to break that pattern because we're starting to look at things in a new light and going after what it is that we truly want. But do be prepared for this because it kind of surprises us. And it's going to be really subtle that we don't think it's not going to play out that, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I went through before. But it's going to play out that after it's all done and we kind of had time to step away from it, we look back and we're like, whoa, those two situations were super similar. So do be mindful, do be aware. Okay. All right, Capricorn. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace our power and our prosperity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Capricorn.